This is Dr. Richard Sullivan, who
Hey,
is my longest term client. And when we met, you had been listening to podcasts.
Right. So there's like several people out there that are real big proponents of infrared saunas. Specifically, Rhonda Patrick and Found My Fitness. You can listen to Rhonda. Rhonda will speak a lot about the science behind it, the reason why it's such a good idea. But also other people like Tim Ferriss and Dave Asprey with Bulletproof Radio.
Yeah, I love the guy. Bulletproof coffee and the
Yeah.
collagen and everything. And so you were doing kind of podcasts on post-electromagnetic field therapy, vibration therapy,
Right.
saunas,
Yeah.
alkaline water, and then you were like, oh my God, you have everything underneath
You have
one
it
roof.
all right here.
And
you
you're
know.
in Mount Lebanon, you said, yeah.
And you're very close by, very, very convenient. It was the only place I really found in the Pittsburgh area that offered all these different modalities.
Yeah. And what have you noticed since you've been coming?
Well, the first thing is the relaxation, and you'll notice that immediately. So you can use all these different types of treatments to both raise your energy levels as well as to relax and maybe let go of some of the stress of the day. And what I found is I can sort of manipulate things. If I have a challenging day and I have enough time to get out here early, I could take a sauna, do some of these therapies. I'll have more energy through the day. Versus if I have a real challenging day and I just want to relax before I go home, I can come out, hit the sauna, do a few things, and I'll be much mellower, sleep a lot better, be ready for the next day.
Stress relief.
Right.
Now, you mentioned one thing when you first started coming that everybody noticed, that they were giving you double takes.
Yeah, they did. So, I mean, I don't notice the way my skin looks, etc., but there were like several people that made mention, like, my God, what are you doing with your skin? Like, your complexion is so different. I can see your features a little bit better. You look more well rested. A lot of comments like that they weren't solicited. I didn't expect to hear them. I've only been here for a couple of weeks, but it was like something that people would just stop in the middle of a meeting and like make a comment like that, and I'd be like, oh, okay, can we get on with the rest of the meeting? Some people did notice.
Wonderful. And then you've been coming a little over a year and a half, and you haven't been sick.
Correct. So I get exposed to a lot of viruses and a fair amount of bacteria. We're a little bit more about the viruses. It's a little bit easier to pick up a virus, especially during the wintertime, especially here in Pittsburgh. Your vitamin D levels are probably on the lower side unless you supplement. But so what I noticed, though, is I was not picking up seasonal flu. Almost every year I'd pick up some sort of virus with a fever for a couple of days. But in the last year and a half, I really haven't, had to report to work sick, running a fever, feeling real achy or feeling nauseated, whatever's going around. Even if I were to pick up something, it's like a 24-hour thing, So,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then what's your profession?
Emergency physician. So.
Yeah, so you're working in the hospital with all kinds of bugs and germs and
nasty,
stress and
nasty
everything.
Things. Yes.
Yeah, and every time you come in, I smile because I remember the first day that you come in, and you look better and better as I see you coming in.
That's good. Well, you want it to move in that direction, but I actually do it more for like the way I feel internally. Correct? That is what brought me here and what keeps me coming back.
And then you shared some medical studies on neurology.
So the rest of the medical field is really starting to catch up with a lot of these therapies. And if you were just to look at sauna has become a really hot topic because there's a lot of physicists and chemists for years that have known that this probably has medical applications, but it's never been studied. It's never been proven to help. So you see studies in the Journal of Neurology coming out about the positive effects both for length of life, less chronic illness, much less incidence of strokes in people who regularly use saunas. In fact, it's directly related. The more you sauna, the less your chance of having a stroke or a heart attack. These things are like directly correlated. So there are just some great effects in your circulatory system that are not completely understood at this point, but people have sort of intuitively known about this for a long time. The science is kind of catching up now with what a lot of people have already suspected to be true.
Mm-hmm. Now, I got a new pulsed magnetic field therapy mat, and I mentioned the 8 hertz to you. And so far, you've been the only person that's known about the 8 hertz. And so I was very impressed. And what was your comment there?
Well,
it was just yesterday.
That there is, there is like a pulse magnetic field in the earth, and it's a resonance frequency, and it's at 8 hertz. And, what are the benefits of like being exposed to that? We're really not too sure at this time, but there is like scientific reasons for choosing certain frequencies to try to either make you feel more relaxed, more upbeat, healthier. Still being studied. It's sort of interesting, but 8 is considered to be the magnetic frequency of the Earth.
The Schumann scale.
The Schumann scale, that's
Alrighty.
right.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to give me a testimonial, and I really appreciate that you've been coming this whole time.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you so very much, and you always have so much to say to the clients when they're coming in, and you always say, it works.
You will feel better. No doubt about that. And you will be relaxed or rejuvenated or energized, depending upon how you choose to use it. And this is just a wonderful resource they have out here in the South Hills.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
Dr. Rich.
See you.